Thank you. I weren't sure how that worked.
Well, I don't like, is it,
Takes a couple.
Oh, that's all right. So, hello, I'm Jennifer Westcott. I'm the school counselor here at the high school. And I'm Beth Hinicky. Other school. Here at the high school. So we split the alphabet. So thank you for allowing us to come tonight. I know at the end of the school year is busy and everybody is very tired. But we are very excited to share with you our focus this year. And so we're going to start by talking about beyond scheduling. Our focus is to help prepare every student for life after high school. And really our goal as school counselors is to focus on 3 domains, which is the academic success, career readiness, and social emotional growth of every student here in the high school. So you may be wondering, what does the school counselor actually do? I think most people think that our daily routine is just schedule changes, maybe graduation checks, getting college applications out. But really, our goal and our focus is to help students answer these questions. We focus on helping them understand who they are, where they're going, and how they're going to get there.
Our APR goal this year focused on work-based learning, but that's only part of a larger system of supports for students. So we wanted to develop opportunities to help students make connections between school and then their future goals. So in keeping in mind the new Portrait of a Graduate that New York State has been putting out, we kind of work to address each of the competencies. So academic preparedness, we're supporting students through graduation planning, interventions, and opportunities to challenge themselves. Effective communication, helping them practice to advocate for themselves through interviews, presentations, mentoring, and interactions with other professionals. Critical thinking, helping them to develop those decision-making and problem-solving skills as they're exploring the different pathways, career pathways, interpreting assessment results, both on their strengths, evaluating post-secondary options, navigating real-world experiences that require the reflection, and then making those informed choices going forward. Creative innovation. So through career exploration and these work-based learning opportunities, we're helping expose students to diverse post-secondary pathways. So we're hoping to help them embrace the idea that there's other things out there and adapt to the change and kind of see themselves in multiple different settings. Global citizenship, that's including service learning. We have the Seal of Civic Readiness that a number of our students have been able to achieve. Developing those community partnerships and encouraging students to understand their part of the bigger world and community. And then reflection and future focused thinking. So through our individual planning meetings, through the career assessments that we've had them take, post-secondary exploration, and the social emotional supports, kind of helping them figure out who they are. We're helping students set goals for themselves individually. So it's our vision and mission to create a program that is going to, on a tier 1 level, reach all students across the board to help them develop each of these competencies.
So you may be wondering why we specifically chose the focus of work-based learning, but really we did that because it encompasses all of these things. I think there's a misconception sometimes about what work-based learning looks like. Maybe we have an idea that it's just internships, but really work-based learning encompasses awareness, exploration, and development. And so there's various phases that we're hoping to show students through the interest assessments that we're doing, our guest speakers, taking them out into the world to see what the industry really looks like, getting them job shadows. It's it's a variety of things. And so we're hoping to increase that awareness, not only with students, parents, teachers, so that we can all partner together to help them explore everything that's available to them. So we're going to share some of what we did this year. We have a folder for each of you.
But through each of our counseling domains, the academic success, the career readiness, the social emotional growth, it all begins with students feeling connected and having that empowerment to having the confidence and that empowerment to go out and actually learn more about themselves. So in order to accomplish these goals, we understand that we need to continue to strengthen the partnerships that we've created within the building itself, but also the community.
Yeah, one more, sorry.
Sorry. I mean, so we're not just focusing on one type of student. We want every student with every pathway looking towards their future. So we don't just focus in on one particular pathway. It's not just college, it's not just employment. We take the time with our students to individually plan, sit down with them, talk about their options, explore options that they might not have thought about before, so that they can like put a plan together that feels right for them. And so whether that is college, military, employment, apprenticeships, or technical training, our goal is the same. We want every student to leave here feeling confident with a plan and a purpose. Today we have some folders to share with you that I don't know. And thank you to Billy, because she allowed us to use some of her work in here, which we really appreciate. So we'll kind of walk you through some of the information that's in the folder. So on the left, you'll see some of our data from this year's APPR goal, which was to increase our work-based learning initiative. So I know that the data is important, but when you look at some of the things that we were able to strengthen, it's really pretty impressive, especially with our partners. If you look at our partner page, it's an impressive list of community members that were willing to volunteer their time to come here and talk to our students about what really exists out beyond this walls. And that's what we're hoping to do. We don't expect every student to magically have a plan, but we do want that exposure so that they know what's available. And our partners were amazing this year on so many levels. So we're very thankful for them. We did, we not only had our lunch and learns where students could talk to industry partners. We had college admissions counselors here as well, military, and we were also able to get students out into the world and complete job shadows this year. We're still working on it.
We have another one tomorrow.
Yes,
so.
we have another one tomorrow. Even though school has officially ended, we're working on additional apprenticeships for students. So we're just very thankful to our partners this year. We have also included our high school counseling calendar, which is a small part of the comprehensive counseling plan. We didn't want to overrun you with that tonight because it would be there forever. So we just decided to take that little bit out. We're also trying to get the word out about all of the initiatives in a variety of ways. So we just gave you some examples of the newsletter. We post on the website. Each class has a Google Classroom. We're able to kind of upload anything that is relevant to students. That's also how they fill out their information when we do our individual planning. So you can see Billy's senior meeting planning form is in here. Thank you again for allowing us to do that. I also included her graduation worksheet, which then goes out to every her guardian to keep them updated as students make their way towards meeting their graduation requirements. This year, a new initiative is that we are going to then, when students indicate what their overall goal is to us on their individual planning form, and we talk about that, we then input that into School Tool, and then it will be on their graduation worksheet so that parents understand, oh, okay, my student is taking these classes because it's helping them meet that goal. Really Patrick City College. That's not the plan for everyone, but that's part of the transparency of what we're doing. You can also see, so it's a little bit, thank you. I also included your hours. This is another thing that we started this year. We actually started last year, and it's been very eye-opening, especially to students. So right within the student management system, we're able to record the hours that students are doing. So it's labeled as work-based learning, which you saw from the slide, encompasses a variety of things. And we are able to track that for students so that they're able to see the hours, the time that they're putting in. It's also really helpful for a variety of reasons, including scholarships. So I know we only can record what we know about here within the school system. So that's encouraging to students to also help them remember that they have to track as well. I think it was like the best thing ever when we rolled that out to students in a classroom and said, so now why don't you guys take a minute to check your hours? And some students were like, wait a minute, I don't get any. Like, exactly. So this is a time that we can brainstorm and come up with things that might work well for them. So our goal is to have hours for every student here so that they're understanding what is available. That also helps with the seal civic readiness. And when they're able to track their hours, it's evidence that they've done something. And that's a whole other stuff conversation about. It's also helpful for that as well.
We also included individual planning forms for our other grade levels for 11th and 9th in there as well. Just to see how we're working with students individually to help them identify their strengths, identify what they need to work on in order to help them get to their ultimate career goal.
And each planning forum, we tend to revise as we go, but they're developmentally appropriate for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So they do vary in what we're asking them and how we're preparing them. Some of the other things that we added in were some of the, visuals for students and parents. So when we meet individually with students, we're sending them home with folders, just like this, that contain information about different options, pathways. So there's different flyers in here that kind of explain what that is. And we did that in a variety of ways to show it differently.
Just to kind of help them map out the plan.
When we take students to a college fair, we're prepping them ahead of time. We don't just send out a permission form and expect them to know how to handle going into a large arena with a lot of foods. So we typically do research, talk to them, and help them whittle down their list so that they can at least have, our goal is always at least 3. Yeah, minimally 3 people that they are going to target when we go out into a college fair so that they're doing the work ahead of time. So when they get there, they have their sheets with them so that they can look at them and then, I don't know. It's like me when I go into a grocery store, I don't have a list.
You buy a lot of them too.
Right, I get inundated with everything, so we want to prepare them and have that list like readily available for them. So we have that, and then again, I know that we touched on the job shadows, but that's been a very eye-opening experience even for us. So students, I mean, sometimes I think we take for granted that maybe students know what is happening out there. But I've had some interesting feedback from students that, you know, they've never been in that particular situation and it was like the best thing ever. Or vice versa. I never want to do that again, but thank you so much for letting me do that. Because now I know I don't want to do that with my future. And so it's been really helpful. So we're grateful that we have the support to allow us to expand these opportunities for students.
I have a question. What do you see, or I mean, I know you're looking at portrait of Granite. How do you see your office in the next 2 to 3 years and the changes that are going to be made? I see two of you.
I know.
And these changes to this degree are going to be very different. So have you thought about that? Thought about what it's going to look like for you as a counseling office?
We have.
I was like,
Yes, they have.
We have been trying to come up with these sheets to be able to send home to kind of help with that communication home and developing more along the lines of those classroom lessons to be able to reach more students. We're still going to be working individually with them, but if we can get the information out, then hoping that students then start to like, oh, that sounds really cool. I'm going to go reach out to my counselor and see if I can do that. So having the Google Classroom has been very helpful in getting information out. So we're using a variety of different ways to be able to reach not only students, but families as well.
And I have to circle back to when you said there's only 2 of us. It really, honestly, it's gonna take a village to accomplish what New York State is unrolling. So we've been really blessed this year. We not only had all of those partners coming in, but we had partners here within the school that we worked with. So Allison Lewis was incredibly helpful to us. She was great. So on many levels, she was able to help us write passes, make phone calls.
Do you want to explain what she does?
What's that?
We want to explain what her role is.
Yeah, so she is an aide here in the building, but she was able to help support our office in this endeavor. And really, it was incredibly helpful to have somebody. She helped us assemble folders. There's like a lot of tasks that take a lot of time that she was able to assist us with, and she was invaluable. She's really, really great help.
And she assisted with the kids too, like she
yeah.
putting them in there.
Yeah, we helped out with some resumes, some applications for programs.
You need to get some student job shadowers.
What's that?
Get some student job shadowers.
Yeah.
To help you out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's our goal. I mean, we do have to grow the opportunities that are available for students here. Being that we're in a rural community, I think it's important that we're strengthening that collaboration that we have here. You know, there's a lot of students that don't drive, that need something a little bit closer. You know, that was really helpful, just even for a couple of job shadows that I transported students to because they didn't have the availability to have a parent leave, or maybe they didn't have a car. So if you're out in the community, spread the word. And if anybody wants to collaborate, we're always open to that. I know we just had another meeting today with UHS. We're hoping to bring in a healthcare rotation next year. And maybe think about different ways that we can strengthen some of the programming that we're delivering to students, but. Yeah,
So
we're willing to collaborate with anyone.
Yeah.
I just had a question, so I know, so that's more horizontal, are you looking vertically? Because I was looking for the individual planning sheets and I didn't see it, but I mean, so are you looking to go down lower to put that word out to like get the word to the younger students before they get to high school? Because I would think getting to ninth grade, it might be too late. Because I know with career planning, that's brought up in middle school
So
and
we-
things too, so.
We work as K through 12. And I know Ashton is doing a fabulous job with career lessons,
Okay.
K through 3. They each have a career portfolio, digital, down at the CEA or over there at the CEA,
Yep.
sorry. But, yeah, so she's already working on that and doing a fantastic job. And then it carries right
Okay,
through.
yeah.
Yeah, that's part of what our comprehensive plan addresses. We want to make sure that all 3 domains are being addressed. And so that's how we meet annually, sometimes twice a year, to go over that, revise, and make sure that what we're putting out is essential for students.
Do parents have access to those career portfolios?
With that,
Do parents have access to those career portfolios?
I can't speak to that.
That's okay.
I mean, I know we send everything up here at home.
We email at home after our individual meetings.
It's
So it-
refreshing to hear all this because I know in high school, I saw my high school counselor once, 2 weeks before graduation. And he looked at my folder and looked at it and went, ah, next.
Oh,
That's it. Close, Benny. PS driver. What can I say?
Yeah,
So
we
it's
start-
really, yes,
yes. we
2
don't
weeks
look
before
at students.
graduation.
And they're a joy, so it's a pleasure to know students. I can't imagine not meeting them until senior year. That's crazy. Things have changed for you.
Yes, they have. Yes, I was like, yeah.
I will say, as I am one of the community members that has done programming for them. Dr. Ronbeck had to come and play some knee because I had to pick up a teaching level this year, but. Even when it's a small group of students, somebody grabs something and the students really are very appreciative and they enjoy the meetings. Probably Billy can explain that more, but I do appreciate what you do with the groups and your planning. You're always planning ahead of time, really trying to make it the best it can be for the students, and I appreciate that greatly.
They're worth it.
Any other questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Okay, we do not have a need for an executive session at this time. You all had a letter from Insero and Company CPAs LLP in your packets. Policies for discussion.
We don't have any policies for discussion, we have policies to act on.
Okay, so let's move right on to that. First up is policy 7131. So no, are we doing this one?
Yes, so
Okay.
this is the policy that we just revised a little bit ago, you may remember.
Right.
Changed our policy, but then we found that we had exchange students and had some discussion as a board that there certainly were benefits to our greater student body to having exchange students here and for our exchange students being accepted in other places. So the amended policy I sent out to you, and I did, even though it wasn't updated earlier, Aubrey, I had, when you originally emailed, I have made those changes, but.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe the corrected one is in there now.
Okay.
So it's just adding that piece that's that exception. Okay. And there are many there are people waiting to hear. If I told them we would wait till first reading and then we could move ahead with this, okay?
Okay, so we didn't do a motion in a second, so may I have a motion? Thank you, Chris, and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Benny. Are there any other questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Moving on to policies for second reading. First up is 7614 preschool special education program.
So,
So wait a second, this one,
you see,
well, I do, but it's under second reading, but the recommended action says for first reading. Yes, so I want to change that before we do the motion in the second, so that we don't have to amend it.
I'm sorry, it looks like typos.
Huh?
It looks like typos. They
Okay,
all say that is what she's saying.
Yeah. Nope, then, so we'll assume the ones that are under second reading are for second reading. So do I have a motion for this one? Chris and Molly. Okay,
okay, so this is the first one that we're gonna discuss that, this is the batch that we discussed at the first May meeting. You may know we didn't have 30 days between those meetings and we haven't had 30 days since the last meeting, so we are like, we're jumping over meetings. So this policy was last updated in 2009. We're just updating it to the most recent Area 1 language that is consistent with our practice and requirements of IDEA right now. So it's an update.
questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? 7609, section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 for second reading. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michelle.
This is also the old policy is circa 2009, and the new policy, which is really taking the language from Erie 1 that includes specific language of the prohibition against disability-based discrimination, which is required to have in a policy now. So this will bring our policy up.
Any questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? 7611, children with handicap conditions for second reading. May I have a motion?
So
Is that you? Aubrey? Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny.
So this policy is 7611, and with the language that you just, is very old language that we wouldn't use anymore. The new policy is called Students with Disabilities, and it is up to date and includes things that were in policy 7620 and previously eliminated 7650, and it also includes language that emphasizes things like universal design for learning and inclusion and least restrictive environment and family engagement, all within that policy. It's much improved over our old policy, including the title. I can't believe it's still on the website.
Any questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained?
And also just to note, one of the things that are included here that we eliminated in the old policy is our requirement for reporting to the state, which is also in here, that it's a mandate that we have listed out in policy.
7620, students with handicap participating in school programs, second reading for removal. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly.
And that's being eliminated because all, yeah. mhm.
Yep. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? 7660, parent involvement, for second reading. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny.
Again, this was 2009, this was last updated, so the template we used was Erie 1, but we also updated language to reflect our, preferences as far as using parents / legal guardians wherever possible, to make it more inclusive. And then updating the requirements that are now part of what you need to do as committee on special ed.
Any further questions from the board? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
I just have one comment, and that could be to whoever puts these up on the web. Sometimes the title's underlined, sometimes it's not. We don't want to underline it because it would make it look like a hyperlink. So I saw that happening. And then some of the paragraph indents, sometimes it's 3 spaces, sometimes it's 5 spaces, sometimes they're 10 spaces. So just as we finish these up, just clean up the secretary.
Thanks. This brings us to our first opportunity for comments from the public. Each speaker will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes and the entire public comment period to a maximum of 30 minutes. This may be waived by a majority vote of the board. The board requests that each speaker states their name, residency, and topic of discussion. By law, the board will not permit any public statements regarding individual students or employees. And please be advised that while the board takes public comment very seriously, we are not allowed to comment or respond during the meeting, as this is our opportunity to hear from our stakeholders. Items brought to the attention of the board will be taken under consideration for future responses or action, or the proper staff member will get back to you at an appropriate time. There is also a second opportunity towards the end of the meeting. Does anybody wish to speak at this time? Okay. Commendations. A lot of them.
We congratulate Ms. Busanel for being nominated by a TRA Guardian for Equinox Broadcasting Teachers Are Heroes Award. Congratulations, Jackie. Coach Hayes and the following track and field athletes for their Section 4 track and field championship results. Dylan Whitney, 200 meters, first place. Peyton Martin, 400 meters, first place. Addison Feathers, Ava Oliver, Madeline Zare, Peyton Martin, for their 4x400 meter relay first place finish. Ava Oliver for her 200 meter second place finish. Dylan Whitney for the 100 meters second place. Madeline Zare, Peyton Martin, Addison Feathers, Ava Oliver for their 4x100 meter relay second place finish. Ava Oliver, 100 meters third place. Madeline Zare, 400 meters fourth place. Christian Holler, Josh Sabin, Benjamin Hitt, Ryan Smith for their 4x800 meter relay fourth place finish. Amazing. Do we have the state stuff in there down further? Yes, we do. Okay, so we'll get to that. Super exciting track season. Coach Davis, assistant coach Sears, and the varsity boys lacrosse team for winning Section 4 Class D championship. Congratulations. The art and music departments, the Music Booster Club, and all the talented Whitney Point Central School District students for their roles in the district art show, showcasing artwork and music from students in all schools on June 3rd. District art show and music from social show. Mr. Jones, Ms. Fallen, and all the talented students involved with the 2026 Cabaret on May 28th. Mrs. Monaco, Mrs. Hawley, Ms. Burdick, Officer Noyes, faculty, staff, and all the students who attended the Memorial Prom held on June 5th. Mr. Leet, SAD officer, SAD in general, Officer Noyes, the After Prom Committee, Billy Leet, Mrs. Hawley, Ms. Burdick, and the many volunteers for putting together a fun after prom party at Dave & Buster's, and all the students who attended. Ms. Hawley, Ms. Burdick, Ms. Sexton, Ms. Kohler, and the Whitney Point High School faculty and staff with the successful high school awards and scholarship ceremony, and the many people and organizations for their scholarships to Whitney Point High School graduating seniors. Congratulations to all recipients. And what was the total this year, Ms. Polly?
$75,000.
Yeah, tremendous. Ms. Thomas and the Yearbook Club for coordinating the top 20 display case located outside of the high school auditorium. Mrs. Goligly and Mrs. Bolson for creating senior banners to celebrate and showcase our senior class students. I don't know if you guys know that we make those right here. They're very beautiful. Mrs. Pollen and Mrs. Monteleone and the 7th and 8th grade band and chorus students for a successful trip to Hershey, PA for the Music in the Parks competition. Ms. Becker and Mrs. Hodkinson, chaperones, and everybody involved with another successful 8th grade trip to Washington, DC. Mr. Miracle and the Whitney Point Central School District FFA chapter for the representation of our district at the New York State FFA convention in Buffalo. The students earned 4 first place competition finishes. Mr. Zaliga, Mrs. Doyle, and the Whitney Point PTA, faculty, staff, and students for a fun-filled best day ever held on June 15th. The CEA cafeteria staff are being recognized by the BOCES leadership team as June's Kitchen of the Month. High school senior Jaden Starks for being selected as the recipient of the 2026 Outstanding School to Careers Award. Coach Hayes and the following track and field athletes for qualifying for the New York State Outdoor Track and Field State Championships. And for Dylan Whitney, 200 meters of 22.15, that's a school record. Peyton Martin, 400 meters, 57.6 school record. Addison Feathers, Ava Oliver, Madison Zaire, Peyton Martin in the 4x400 meter relay. They had 4 minutes, 7 second, 0.15. I don't know what that is. Record by far personal best. And I don't know, Ms. Hayes, how much did they drop each time?
So they started the season at 4:24 for that relay. They went about a month ago to 4:16, and then 2 weeks ago they ran a 4:07, and then on Sunday they ran a 4:02.
Wow.
So
It's like amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was very fun to watch because I've never seen a group of student athletes be able to keep chiseling away the climb. So it was very fun to watch. So they're hardworking. Thank you.
All right, so while we're at, so girls class C 4x400 meter relay, Addison Feathers, Ava Oliver, Madison Zaire, Peyton Martin, 5th place, and a school record time of 4:02.25, as you just heard. Girls class C 400 meter, Peyton Martin, 5th place with a time of 58:04. Boys class C 200 meter, Dylan Whitney, 5th place with a time of 22.42, and they were all walking around with their medals when they came back.
I saw.
Super cool.
And most of them are returning too, right, Murphy?
Yeah, Dylan and Madeline will graduate, but the other 3 are juniors.
Yeah, I saw in their picture. So
Okay, Coach Davis for being selected as the Section 4 Lacrosse Coach of the Year by USA Lacrosse. And Coach Hayes we don't have anybody else on your coaching staff there, but congratulations.
Mr. Hartley.
Yeah, Mr. Hartley's on there. He's not on there, but he should be recognized too, because it was a long weekend and you guys were up very late and you made it a really special thing for the track team.
I think there's one you might have missed,
Tell me
Joanne.
which one.
That's because the thing is together. Mr. Saliga, Mrs. Burns, faculty, staff, 8th grade students for success.
Oh, yeah, the evening
Awards.
celebration on June 12th, yes.
It's just that
8th grade awards and the dance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Billy, you're up.
This saying actually traditions. Wanted to send a thank you to the school. They said the students were all very nice to their faculty members, and they had a great time hosting us. Same with Bob Powell, who said that if you ever need a 3J again, he'd be happy to fill in. And thank you to the community. We had 175 gift cards donated from everybody. And thank you to the Boosters Club for the kindergarten and some new t-shirts. That was a lot of fun. The kindergartens had a lot of fun. We had Family Feud today on the last day of school, and that was a lot of fun. I think we should definitely bring that next year. And Regents, there's a lot of study hours being held by teachers, so the students are feeling very prepared. And our strength and conditioning, our numbers have actually doubled, maybe even tripled with younger kids, the freshmen joining in early.
Nice. That's good. We're gonna be missed.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just back up because that's not on this list, the Eagles Nest Booster Club for spearheading that effort yesterday and donating all those t-shirts for the kindergarten students and the seniors. And while there's a lot of visioning and then it didn't exactly go as planned, it was really pretty darn cute and
It was sweet and
And the feedback from the parents has been
yeah, it was a little
phenomenal.
cold. It was very cold.
Yeah.
But it was very sweet, don't you think, Billy?
Well, that was all thanks to Tim Lewis,
It was
who
great.
came up with the idea and even took phone calls from Alaska.
Yes, you did.
And it was great. They were outside walking.
Oh, and several of the teachers at the TRA commented that they loved having the seniors come down and walk there. And because I saw a bunch of them afterwards yesterday, and they hope that that continues on, that they'll continue going down there.
Yeah, we have some plans to improve, we learned a lot, right, Molly, this year, but so just if you don't know that traditionally they do a walkthrough at the CEA, but this time they walked all the way down the street, down to the TRA. And it was nice for all those teachers and for those kids too to say, you know what, that's gonna be me someday. Look at that.
Even the pre-K, I've heard a couple of the pre-K students very excited that they were able to give a senior a high five.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
they're all about that. They were great. Good job.
But I think it's definitely a do-over for next year and figure out what worked and what didn't. Okay, old business brings us to the consent agenda. May I have a motion? So, and a second?
Second.
Any? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Superintendent appointment resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District hereby appoints Shannon Pitcher-Boya as Superintendent of Schools for a term commencing July 1st, 2026 and continuing through June 30th, 2029. And be it resolved that the Board of Education adopt and authorize as part of the term of appointment all those conditions set forth in the employment agreement with Shannon Pitcher-Boya dated June 16th, 2026, and be it resolved that the President of the Board of Education is hereby authorized and directed to execute said employment agreement. May I have a motion?
We should all do it.
Okay.
So moved.
Full
Sounds good.
board. Full board. And Shannon, I'm gonna have you get up and speak, but after we officially voted, if you want. But after we officially vote you in. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstains? And if you do want to say anything, you are welcome to now. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
I do. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I'm glad that negotiations are not. Get to work partnering and doing what's best for the students. Thank you for the appointment. Really excited.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you for the drive down.
See, he does come in handy still. Okay, appointments. Amanda Gem, part-time food service helper, effective June 1st, 2026. May I have a motion? Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny. I'm gonna just move to voting unless somebody pipes up and says they have a question or something, okay? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Valerie Neary, bus monitor, effective June 17th, 2026. May I have a motion?
Thanks.
That's what I thought. So Michelle and Aubrey. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? James Doan, cleaner, effective June 29th, 2026. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Molly. Second. Thank you, Chris. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? 4-year probationary appointment of Janelle Sturdivant, special education teacher in the special education teacher tenure area, effective September 1st, 2026. May I have a motion?
So.
Thank you, Tom. And a second. Thank you, Benny. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? The 3-year probationary appointment of Kimberly White, math teacher in the math teacher tenure area, effective September 1st, 2026. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Aubrey. Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Molly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay, appointment amendment. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the appointment amendment of Christina Emerson from a 4-year probationary appointment to a 3-year probationary appointment as special education teacher in the special education teacher tenure area. The probationary period is September 1st, 2024 through August 31st, 2027. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second. Thank you, Benny. Any questions or comments?
So she previous employment. Because of her previous tenure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Memorandum of agreement. Be it resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District approve the memorandum of agreement between the Chief Executive Officer and Amy Alston. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Benny. And a second.
Second.
Thank you, Michelle.
So this is the discussed bridge from exiting the grant position. So it's a 1 year.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Certification of the vote. Proposition 1, budget vote. Number of votes recording is voting yes, 198. Number of votes recorded as voting no, 57. Number of votes void, 1. Total number of votes cast, 255. Proposition 2, school vehicle vote. Number of votes recorded as voting yes, 195. Number of votes recorded as voting no, 58. Number of votes void, 3. Total number of votes cast, 253. Proposition 3, library vote. Number of votes recorded as voting yes, 166. Number of votes recorded as voting no, 85. Number of votes void, 4. Total number of votes cast, 251. Board members elected, Aubrey Noraki, number of votes cast, 199. Thomas Tasper, number of votes cast, 187. Tyler Hoos, number of votes cast, 75. May I have a motion? Thank you, Chris. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Molly. And we had to recertify that.
The absentee votes were not included in the board member election numbers last time.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We're doing this one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I just don't want to miss anything else. So we have a list of students who are dependents on employees of the school district. They are listed here. We are approving that they will be allowed to attend the school here and that tuition will be waived. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Molly. Second. Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Bus use request, from the Whitney Point, preschool and daycare. For use as buses from July tenth through August seventh, 2026, and there was a list included for the dates. May I have a motion? Thank you, Michelle. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Approve the donation of one new Titan Fitness Women's Olympic barbell and two new Titan Fitness Men's Olympic barbells for use by students participating in strength and conditioning and physical education activities. The total donation is valued at $753.54. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments?
Thanks for the donation.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And they are
Brand new, have all the, yep.
Yeah, all the little
Yep.
check boxes.
Yep. Perfect for use in the school
And
and
yes, and as I mentioned, we have audited everything and making sure that that's the case.
Great. Thank
Across
you.
the board.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Co-op bid, for janitorial supplies, physical education, athletic supplies, teaching supplies, and art supplies for the 2026 through 2027 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Aubrey. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Michelle. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstain? Bid extension on plumbing. Following bid, plumbing T&M extension number 3, Lewis and Pachano and Son Incorporated. May I have a motion? Thank you, Chris. And a second. Thank you, Benny. What is this, an extension?
So, yep, for T and M, this time and materials,
Yeah.
anytime we have like a plumbing
Mhm.
issue that we can't handle in-house, we don't have to properly go bid it. We do it now, so then the John
Yep.
Race just do the work on T and M.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Whereas the Whitney Point Central School District had opened for public bid according to general municipal law, the following bid, WP 2026-202701, garbage recycling, and whereas the bids were publicly opened and read on May 26, 2026 at 1:30 PM in the BOCES Central Business Office, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the purchasing agent that the bid for garbage recycling be awarded to Taylor Garbage, P.O. Box 362, Vestal, New York. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second? Second. Thank you, Chris. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Funding reserves. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools that the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District does and hereby approve the following reserve transactions for the 25-26 school year. Funding of the Retirement Contribution Reserve, A825, in the amount up to $1,750,000 for the Future Employment Retirement System, ERS expenses. Source of funds is the unassigned fund balance, A917. Funding of the capital reserve, A879, up to the amount of $750,000. Source of funds is the unassigned fund balance, A917. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Tom. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Benny. Any questions or comments?
Just as a reminder to the board, these are annual resolutions we do before the end of the year. Legally, we can't have more than 4% of our unspent funds not allocated. We work with CBO Fund Balance Management to try to figure out what's the best place for anything above that. This year, we're strategic in where we're putting any extra funds. And we bumped up the retirement contribution reserve up to 1.75 million. Again, we won't know exactly till the end of the year when all accounts payable and encumbrances are closed out. But knowingly that we put into this next year budget $680,000 to be used, we kind of thought this was going to be really, that's what we're doing ahead of time, right? We're putting it in there to be used. So in reality, if you look at it like that, we're putting in 2.5 years of that funding, which is good. And then our capital reserve, shortly here, we will be talking about a next capital project. So we want to bump up our capital reserve a little bit. Again, that's to make sure whatever we go out with will be a zero tax impact. And that funding in that reserve is more limited to where there's a cap of funding a specific reserve for 15 years, and it's only up to 10 million. But it is a very healthy balance. And again, if we can put that additional amount into there, we should have a very nice future capital project projecting around 28 million that will have a zero tax impact.
Thank you. Thank you for all the planning and forethought that goes into that. Any questions from the board?
I have a question, but maybe not here, I'm not sure. So after the governor announced everything,
Yep.
how does the 10,000 per pre-K affect us?
That's good. It's good in so many ways because
So does our grant have to get phased out or anything?
so we had originally 4 different funding streams for pre-K, which was like a nightmare and very complicated, and they all were different amounts that we would piece together, and they all had different requirements, and there were all sorts of things. So with this act, they had made all pre-K 4s just one amount, and it's based on our foundation aid, per pupil. So it's definitely benefiting us. $10,000 is the minimum,
Right.
and $10,000 for us was the maximum, and that is all good because we were facing a crunch, because in the years, our amounts, allocations had not changed. And as you know, the cost of everything has gone up. So it was getting a little bit tight. And so this was very good news for us for the pre-K 4s.
Okay.
And we do have space, some schools are a little bit of a crisis because if you're starting the following year, you're gonna have to have enough, but we have enough slots for everybody.
And did our fund balance change at all?
I mean, it will result in additional funding,
Yeah, we actually get it.
Do you have any idea yet or anything? Should we not project?
And we'll be working on the budget process for that, but I mean, there's always discussion with community partners too, because their costs go up as well.
Right.
So we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do.
Thank you.
So again, though, that was forethought that we have room. Way back.
Yep, yep.
No, I'm just saying that
Yeah.
that was thought about in advance, so that's good that now we have space again too, so.
And all 4-year-old programs are back on campus.
Yep. Forethought, excellent,
Good use of the money that we spent there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yep.
excellent.
Thank you, Zach.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Casey, how many?
I think you can use them, but that's up to you.
When it comes to stuff like this, it's almost not worth it because, but it's actually in larger print, so that's why it's so many pages. And I do appreciate the larger print. Whereas the qualified voters of the Whitney Point Central School District, Broome, Shenango, Cortland, and Tioga Counties, New York, the district on May 19th, 2026, approved the proposition authorizing the Board of Education, the board of the district, to purchase 2 new 71-passenger diesel buses at a cost not to exceed $416,500 and 2 new 42-passenger diesel wheelchair accessible buses at a cost not to exceed $424,701 at a maximum total cost not to exceed $841,201, the projects, and to expend therefore not to exceed the estimated total cost of $841,201, including incidental expenses in connection therewith, and that such sum or so much thereof as may be necessary shall be raised by the levy of a tax upon the taxable property of said school district and collected in annual installments as provided by section 416 of the education law. And in anticipation of such tax, shall the Board of Education be authorized to issue bonds or other obligations of the school district in the aggregate principal amount of up to $841,201. Whereas the project constitutes a type 2 action within the meaning of the State Environmental Quality Review Act and the regulations of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation thereunder, collectively seeker, and therefore no further action under seeker with respect to the projects need be taken by the board. And whereas the board of the district now wishes to appropriate funds for the projects and to authorize the issuance of the district's serial bonds or bond anticipation notes to finance said appropriation. Now, therefore, the Board of Education of the Whitney Point Central School District, Brim, Shenango, Cortland, and Tioga Counties, New York, hereby resolves by the favorable vote of not less than 2/3 of all its members as follows. Section 1, the district is hereby authorized in accordance with the Proposition A to purchase 2 new 71 passenger diesel buses at a cost not to exceed $416,500 and 2 new 42 passenger diesel wheelchair accessible buses at a cost not to exceed $424,701, and B, to issue up to $841,201 principal amount of the serial bonds, including without limitation statutory installments bonds, the bonds or bond anticipation notes in the anticipation of the bonds pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law constituting Chapter 3-A of the consolidated laws of the state of New York, the law to finance the estimated cost of the projects. Section 2, it is hereby determined that the estimated maximum cost of the aforesaid specific projects or purposes is $841,201. Said amount is hereby appropriated, therefore, and the plan for the financing thereof shall consist of one, the issuance of up to $841,201 in serial bonds of the district authorized to be issued pursuant to Section 1 of this resolution, or bond anticipation notes issued in anticipation of the bonds to finance said appropriation, and 2, the payment of the principal of the said bonds or bond anticipation notes and the interest thereon as the same shall become due and payable by the levy and collection of taxes on all the taxable real property in the district. Okay, I give up. We're issuing bonds to purchase our buses.
Is there one more pages for me?
Yes. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. May I have a motion?
So
Thank you.
Second.
Yeah, second.
I can't believe you gave up.
Yeah, I know, I don't use.
You don't usually do
Can I have a second though?
I did.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
It was repeating itself.
Yeah, it does get to that point, but we're buying buses, we're issuing bonds to buy
Doing it
them.
legally, we're doing
Yeah.
it.
Any questions from the board? Any comments from Zach?
Again, I reach out to our bond attorney, they give us this verbatim clearly and.
I know.
It has to be approved.
Yeah,
We'll borrow in the summer.
okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Superintendent updates.
I put in the board docs,
Just tonight, because the state has just put out some information regarding American Spires. And interestingly, in the last couple of meetings, it seems like the Board of Regents has come to the conclusion that we were all sort of like wondering about, like, how are we gonna do this and how are you gonna have this one set of requirements and also phase in something else, and they've come to realize, yeah, there needs to be some pretty major changes to what regulation says is required to earn a credit, hours for each course, that they have to do some real re-envisioning how you earn your way through to get, a diploma essentially. And it's interesting, but I think one of the important things for you to know is because I hear this from kids, I hear this from families, they think, well, there's no more Regents exams. And what they're very clearly saying is, no, there still are, and current graduation requirements are still in existence, and that we are going to be working together to co-design what the future looks like, which is going to be, competency-based measures. I think that just that it's going to take some time and a lot of creativity. So in there is the presentation that was at the Board of Regents, which has got a lot of really interesting information, and then just they have a one pager. So I think that's important. I'll get a few minutes to look at that. You may want to look, I don't know if you look at it each time, it's always included for you, the enrollment numbers. And you can see when you look at that, in the lower grades, we're seeing some consistent changes there. And just, we're paying attention to that. And adjusting accordingly. That's it. And then we have graduation coming up. So is everybody coming?
I am.
I'm out of
Oh, I know.
I think everybody else is gone. Yeah, so is it just
you three?
three of us?
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll be reading lots of names or shaking lots of hands.
Yeah.
That's okay. I have a whole big list of students, so
Okay.
that helps.
So 3.
I have 2 grandchildren, so.
Sorry. That's all you guys.
Remember your notes too?
I'll be there.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm a double one.
Okay, that brings us to the second opportunity for comments from the public. The same stipulations remain for the second opportunity as I read at the first. Is there anybody who would like to speak at this time? I will admit that the Jeopardy theme just started going through my head there. So Board of Education comments.
I don't have anything right now, except, I have completed Joanne's, evaluation. We can talk about that later. That's an executive session, but we still have our evaluation we have to have done by the end of the month. So what you are, just to remind everybody, you are picking the board education review, and you're picking, and Molly, this will be your last task, please, but I think you have some of it done already. And then make sure you're picking you pick the 26-27 year, because what you're doing is you're reflecting on what we did for 25-26 and preparing us to put our board goals together during our reorg meeting. So if you all can have that done by the end of the month, that would be great, or sooner. And Tom's done, Steph's
So
almost, Michelle's
Yeah.
done, I'm done.
Okay.
So yeah, so if we finish that up, then we'll be ready for when we start our reorg meeting and have set our own goals. Yeah.
I mean,
Our board goals.
okay. I do have something because tonight is Molly's last meeting as a trustee for the Board of Education. And so we have an award here for you.
Thank you.
So you've been a board member for 2023 and 2026.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if you ever want to come back again.
You can take your name tag, but you bring it back.
I just thank you for the opportunity to serve the last few years and really learned a lot, and I made a lot of good relationships here, and I appreciate everybody's support and bringing me on when I first started, and it's been a great experience. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And tonight is Joanne's last.
Well, unless she calls us and said, can we have an executive session?
Well, well, yeah, okay, so this is the last regular board meeting that, for Joanne. So we do have something for you.
I was wondering, and you're gonna give me in my evaluation, my improvement goals?
So I apologize that it is not wrapped. But. Let me figure out which one is up. Okay, that way is up. We have really appreciated your years here in the district, and we wanted you to have something that showed you how much we all appreciate everything you've done over the years.
Thanks so much.
We just couldn't do a regular plaque. And
That's it.
That's for sure.
Yes.
We just couldn't picture you wanting to hang a plaque at home. I'm like, I could picture you doing it in your office, but you're.
No, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You wanna read it too?
It's. I can't say it.
Never underestimate the difference you made and the lives you have touched. And it says WPCSD 1989 through 2026. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you to all of you. You're all incredible people, and I've been honored to work with you these last years. Oh goodness, I was not gonna do it. Thank you.
Well, that's why we waited for the very end. So, that being said, we do have a need for an executive session tonight. Once we go into executive session, we will, we won't have any other further business afterwards, so we'll reconvene into open session and then close the meeting at that point. May I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
And it is.
Or last second, yeah.
I love that last second.
But you had a second session. You might-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Thank you, everybody. And congratulations, Shannon.
We need to have that, yes.
Yes.